Sixers fans, welcome back. Look, this is take 3. Also, I want to say I apologize for my last video. The way that it cut my head off the camera, never going to happen again. I mean, I literally made like a 12-minute video, and then after, in my editing, I realized that, and I was like, oh, this is the worst. I'm not making another video. I was infuriated. We got to figure out the shooting space here in my new apartment, but this seems pretty good. Why not let it fly now? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the family. I am so close to 1,000K. I don't even know. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. Get me there, guys. I would like to get there before the season starts. That being said, let's talk about Ben Simmons and a new emerging team of the Detroit Pistons, who are surprisingly in this race to land Ben Simmons, and what a trade's going to look like, what it would have to look like, and what could it mean for the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's get into it. So when I first realized and read that the Detroit Pistons are coming out as an emerging team who is interested in landing Ben Simmons, I just think it's weird. Troy Weaver is a great GM as far as I know from what I've seen so far in his early stages of his career as the GM of the Detroit Pistons. I think he's done a great job. I think he has some questionable moves, but for the most part, I think he's accelerated a rebuild in a city that needs basketball to do well. It's a basketball city, you know what I mean? And I think Troy Weaver's a pretty good general manager. That being said, I just think it's a little weird that they're looking for a guy of Ben Simmons's play style when they already have Cade Cunningham. It's not that the two players are similar in the way they play, because they're not necessarily, but they do kind of play the game in a sense of the same way. And what I mean by that is they're both playmaking guards who, need the ball in their hands for the most part to be productive. Cade Cunningham's obviously a better shooter. He is going to be probably a much better offensive player in his career than Ben Simmons is now, but the way that those two operate at the levels that they do, I don't really see them being able to coexist at a high level together. And so I just find it very weird that Detroit's even interested in Ben Simmons. But I'm still going to talk about what a trade would have to look like if the Pistons would be the team to land Ben Simmons. Not many players on this team are making a lot of money. I mean, very, very few are making double digits a year. I'm thinking Cade Cunningham is one of the top 3 highest paid players on the team, and the guy hasn't even played a second in the NBA yet, and that just makes you wonder, you know what I mean? I don't really love the fit of Simmons in Detroit, and I said that, but even for the timeline reason, Simmons is a guy who can be a pretty borderline, he's a star. He's not a superstar, but he's a borderline star. And I just don't see him fitting in a timeline of Detroit when everyone else is younger and, they're still trying to find out who they are, their team identity. They're not going to win a lot of games this year, but they're going to be a fun team to watch. And I don't understand the Simmons fit, but if Detroit's interested, I think Jeremy Grant would 150% have to be included. I mean, not only because of his talent level, because of his age and the fact that he doesn't fit the Detroit Pistons timeline, but also the fact that dude's making $20 million a year. And to fit Simmons' $33 million salary, you have to have Jeremy Grant included in this trade, which would be interesting. It would be interesting having Jeremy Grant come back home to where it all started, kind of, but this time we won't trade him for Ersan Ilyasova. God, the Colangelos were the worst. But it would be interesting. I think Jeremy Grant is not the best fit in Philadelphia either, because he is more of a 4, and though he had a very much improved statistical season and efficiency season from 3 and just as a shot creator in general, I don't think he really is that on a good team. I think a lot of it was just his ample opportunity on a very bad team last year, and I just don't really love the idea of Jeremy Grant to Philadelphia, though I think he is a great defender. I think he is an above-average player. He was a borderline all-star last year, and he's a grit and grind type of guy who brings a lot to winning teams. So I would be respectable of it. I think maybe you could have him and Tobias Harris at 3-4, and they could be very versatile together. I would be interested to see how those two would work, honestly. So Jeremy Grant would have to be thrown in. But then it comes to the point of, okay, what is Detroit willing to give up for a guy like Simmons? And as a two-team trade seems very unlikely at this point in time for a Ben Simmons deal, especially if it's the Detroit, simply for, money, financial reasons, I think they would probably throw in and have to throw in either Saddiq Bey or Killian Hayes. Personally, I think Saddiq Bey is a far more ready NBA prospect. I mean, last year he came out and he put up very good minutes, and he was one of the better 3-and-D guys in the league as a rookie. I would jump on the opportunity for the Sixers to take Saddiq Bey. I think him and Matisse Thybulle are yin and yang together. I think we could sincerely run a very, very impressive young backcourt that could just run the 2-3 positions extremely well for a long, long time coming. And though it doesn't necessarily, honestly, I'm not even going to say it doesn't fit the window for the Sixers, because Saddiq Bey is a role player on a championship team right now, and I stand by that. I think he is a Mikal Bridges type of player right now. So I think the Pistons would have to throw in Saddiq Bey or Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes is a guy who has a very high upside. He was a top 10 pick last year, but he got hurt early, and he missed basically the entire season. He didn't play great last year either, but he is a very high ceiling type of guy. There's a reason why Kevin O'Connor had him as the #1 prospect for the draft last year, but he just hasn't shown it. He has not shown the ability to create his shot or shoot in general, and he's been very turnover friendly. And I just don't see Philadelphia making the jump to get Killian Hayes, because it just simply doesn't make any sense. I would rather probably have Tyrese Maxey running the point out there than a Killian Hayes guy who, though would love to have him as a backup point guard, I just don't think it would work out for Philadelphia, especially given the window of Joel Embiid and, how long do we really have to compete, So I don't think Killian Hayes is going to be there. And then you start looking at, the guys who are making a little bit more money on that team. Josh Jackson's involved. Dude, he had a better year last year, but he shot 30% from 3, and that was a career high, so you can't take Josh Jackson. And honestly, there's just not much else on the team. So if Detroit's willing to take on more salary for a Jeremy Grant, Saddiq Bey, and some first-round pick capital, I think Philadelphia would consider it. I don't know what the other offers are looking like, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I think Philadelphia can probably do better elsewhere, but if a deal is to Detroit, if you see Ben Simmons heading to Detroit, it's probably because there is a third team in the mix, simply to just make it work financially. But I just wanted to make a video to talk to you guys about the Pistons, talk to you about the possibilities of what would we expect from Detroit. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Peace out. Go Sixers.